All right, guys, welcome back to Monster Misfits. Today we are going to use some silicone and we're going to mold a couple of skulls. Now this skull here is actually a planter, so it has no skull cap. So I built a skull cap in it and filled in some of the real hard undercuts so it'd be easier to get off the mold. Same way with this little guy here. This is a little fetus skull. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill some of the undercuts in and we're going to mold this out of silicone as well. So just find your real hard cuts like right here where the bottom jaw meets. We're just going to fill a little bit of clay in there just to kind of make it easier for us to get it off the mold without it going to ripping and stuff like that. So this is the silicones that I have. It's called Rebound 25, and this is a brush on. You got part A and part B, and they are 50-50. So we will be using these. All right, guys. So what we're doing is we're molding these up, and the silicone you can put it right onto a smooth surface, table or whatever. It'll come right up. So what we're gonna do is mix up part A and part B, and we're gonna put our first coat on. Now this is the thickener of the stuff, so we'll use this last on our last coat. And these are different silicone colorants that we can use. First coat we're just going to put on because it comes out pink anyway, so we'll just use our first coat. Then our second coat we'll come in and pick a color and put on our second coat, and third coat, and so on and so on. So with this, this is called Rebound 25, and it is nasty. So if you're going to use this stuff, if it's not mixed and the stuff gets on everything, it is a mess to get up. So just so you know, you can use some alcohol or something to get it up, but it is nasty, and this is what it looks like. If you can see it, comes in like an orange color. And this one's going to be a clear color or a white color. So you got a hardener and all that stuff to go with it. Like I said, it is a 50-50 mix. So what we're going to do is use 1 cup for one and 1 cup for the other. All right, this should set up in about 20-30 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll do another coat. All right, so we done mixed up our second batch. This is the second batch without thickener. So we will do that on our last coat, which we'll probably do about 4 coats. And you're waiting approximately, depending on the temperature, probably about 20 to 30 minutes in between coats. So kind of keep that in mind when you start doing this, to give yourself plenty of time to kind of stick with it. Alright guys, so what we did is we used some cheesecloth and we used some Ultra Cal, and now we're making a 2-part mold. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I think you'll enjoy that, so stay tuned guys. I'll show you how I do. This is the first layer we did on our half of it, so we're going to do this half, then we're going to come back and we're going to slide over this half so it fits together nice and neat and pretty. All right guys, so what we did, we've already made one side of the jacket. Now we're going to make the other side, and we're just going to overlap it a little bit on each side so it fits together nice and snug. And you want to make sure you want to have plenty of Vaseline on there, or you're not going to get them apart. So we're going to Vaseline the snot out of these things. We're just putting a thick coat on here. Just hope they don't stick together. I'll do the same with this one. I've never done this before guys, so I'm bringing you along. I'm just guessing and going. I think it'll work. If it does, we're in business. If not, well, your guys is going to be right there with me knowing that don't do it this way. So I do a lot of trial and error and guessing, so don't be afraid to do that guys. It's no big deal if you fail. That's the whole point of trying different stuff. So I want to get inside this here. Okay, now we are ready to pour up our next cast. So you don't need a whole lot of Ultra Cal for this. It takes very little, so I'm just going to pour a little bit of water in here. Not much, don't need a whole lot. And just add some Ultra Cal. Okay, so this is just creepy cloth from Home Depot, and we're just sucking it in Ultra Cal. Get it nice and soaked through. You don't want to see these white spots. You want to make sure it's all covered. All right. About like that. So now we'll do the same thing on this. Now you can smooth these out or however you want to do it. Now we'll do that one. All right, we'll let them set up, then we'll come back and we'll attempt to tear them apart. All right, guys, they're set up and ready to go. Let's take these things apart and see what we got. So wish me luck. Cross your fingers that this stuff is going to come out okay. Okay, so there we go. Let's see if these will pry apart. I think it's going to work. It worked. Oh my goodness, it worked. There's the clay base that it's set on. And there we go. Awesome. So now we'll just clean up the Vaseline on that. Not too shabby. I've seen better, but we can come back with a sander and clean this up a lot better once it's fully set. I said it don't have to be perfect. It's just keeping our silicone together so we're able to pull this out. So let's go ahead and pull this out, see how it comes out. Hopefully it comes out okay. Man, that's thick. my hands are full of Vaseline. I had a little bit of cleanup to do. That's a thick mold right there, guys. So so we'll clean all this up. Then we'll start. We'll do a couple of casts of this little guy. I'm going to send these out to a couple of people anyway. And there we go. So now's what I want to do is clean up the edge on this. And I have my mold. Awesome. So I'm going to clean this edge up a little bit. Okay, so good enough, I believe. So we'll wash that out. We'll wash it all off nice and pretty and clean it up. And we'll do a mold of this tomorrow. And check it out. There we go. So there we go. Now we have a mold for a mold, and we can pour something in there, put your rubber band around this or something, and we have a mold. Now we'll come back and we'll trim this up, and once this sets up overnight, we'll come back and trim up our thing here, sand it down a little bit, make it pretty, and we have a mold. Let's move on to our second one. Okay. Ah, look at that, boys. Girls. More Vaseline. Oh boy, there she is. Look at that. Perfect. Now, I have to clean this bad boy out. Okay. All right, so now we're going to pull this out of the mold, hopefully. Beautiful. And there's our silicone mold. Like I said, we'll go through and we'll clean all this up, and we'll pour some foam in here, see how it works out. Now these are some thick coats, guys. I probably got them too thick, but you know, everything's subject to learning. Any flashings that you have on there, you'll be cutting out with a saw or hacksaw anyway. So get turned back in. Look at that. Good mold. All right. Let's cut some flashing off of this. All right, there we go. That's pretty doggone heavy, man. That's thick. That's 4 coats, so that turned out pretty thick. This is the skull we molded. So whatever we put in there will come out looking like this. I am probably going to do another version of this skull, a little different. But there that is. There's that. And we can put our mold back together. Get all that Vaseline out there. All right. So there's our mold. I think it turned out pretty good. For my first one, I think it turned out great. Like I said, we'll go through and we'll cut some of this flashing off. We'll make it look prettier. And there you go. Awesome. All right, guys, I just walked you through the whole process of silicone molds. There's the silicone mold. Like I said, this is probably a little thicker than I've seen, but you kind of get the gist of it. This is 4 coats. I put 2 thin coats on and 2 thick coats on. That's how I did this, but usually you do 3 thin and 1 thick. But there you go. And then we used Ultra Cow, and we used cheesecloth from Home Depot. Now you can use plaster of Paris on that. It will be a little lighter with plaster of Paris. Also, I wanted to show you what we used in our silicone. This is what we used in silicone, guys. This is called Rebound 25. Now this is a brush on part A and part B silicone that I use for these molds. So it is very, very nasty to work with. So make sure you wear gloves anytime you work with this kind of silicone or any kind of silicone. But there you go, guys. I hope this video helps you make your own silicone mold and your own hard cast on the outside. So I'm happy that it turned out okay for my first one, my first 2, I guess. But over time, you will just get better and better at doing this kind of stuff. You'll find different ways to make it easier, make it prettier, and you'll have a nice cast. So I hope this helps you guys. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And go check out my trio brothers. That's Dave at the Weird Kid Show and Keith at Cobwebs and Candlesticks. We got a new Facebook group called Haunt for Heroes. You want to check that out, guys. That is my haunt for this coming year, and I'll be promoting that more and more throughout the year. And all the monies from that benefits our homeless veterans. Keep it creepy.